Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We always want to help you win in any marketplace. We do that by bringing on all of the best local area business owners, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of different expert contributors on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Almost 10 years on air now, and we're really excited about the growth around the team and the company and the radio talk show. Get a lot of great feedback from our audience as well. It means the world to us when you reach out and you call in and you engage with us. 727-263-3707. You can call or text the hotline at 727-263-3707. Also email brhymes@kw.com. Online at consumerqb.com. All right, we got Robert Paredes in studio, Fluxx Funding, coming up in just a moment. Before we do, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air, part of our strategy to help our sellers sell faster for more money. 6023 Beverly Drive, Hudson, Florida. This is a Pasco County waterfront home. Beautiful property here in Hudson, Florida. 1856 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath. You got an updated kitchen, handmade cabinetry, updated bathrooms. You got an oversized boat lift here as well. Access to the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful property with a security system. 6023 Beverly Drive in Hudson, Florida. Also 907 Crenshaw Lake Road. This is another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team. 25 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath. Got a ranch-style farmhouse here. What I love about this property is you've got over 3 acres of land. A lot of folks are looking for more land these days, and to get a little bit more of that suburban feel, that little bit more rural feel. Open floor plan, natural lighting, newly remodeled kitchen, stainless steel appliances, huge backyard. 907 Crenshaw Lake Road in Lutz, Florida. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Robert Paredes, welcome in, sir.
Brandon, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Hey, awesome to have you, man. And Fluxx Funding. Tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, sure. I'm Robert with Fluxx Funding, and I have to say this because of the government thing is NMLS 437134.
There you
Get
go.
that out of the way.
Yep.
I've been doing mortgages for about 25 years now.
Awesome.
And love what I'm doing. Love to able to help people as well on their mortgage needs, and especially the first-time homebuyers.
Army veteran as well.
Yeah.
Thanks
Army
for your service.
Drove tanks, man. I was too lazy to walk.
Wow.
And grunt it out, so I figured I'd just drive a tank. It's much easier.
What's it feel like to drive a tank, man?
Oh man, that M1. Well, I started with the M60, and that kind of ages me a little bit.
Okay.
Then I crossed over to an M1, and
Wow.
that 120 caliber, man, it's just fun to watch, especially at night with that tracer.
I bet. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for your service.
Sure, no,
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, glad to serve, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the mortgage industry, man, where do you want to go? There's so much news, right? There's so much to get into.
I know. I couldn't help but overhearing you were talking about your last segment about LLPAs. Those are what we call loan level pricing adjustments. And basically what that is that the current administration, and I'm going to break it down as easy as possible. So if you put more money down, you have better credit, well, guess what? You're going to get hurt because you know why? You need to subsidize the folks who are not paying their bills on time as much and not putting as much as well. So that's really what it is.
Yeah, it breaks that, boils it down.
Yeah, that's about as
680 credit score and above, I think, right?
Yeah, well, technically you can get a conventional loan, what we're talking about, with a 620 credit score, but it doesn't make sense for you to get one unless if you're above a 680, 700 credit score.
Right. And the new rule or law that came out, $40 a month roughly is what the Biden administration says that we should pay, that's we that have good credit scores should pay to help subsidize lower credit score borrowers who maybe didn't pay their bills or whatever it might have been in the name of equity.
Yeah, you really believe it's $40 a month?
Exactly. Exactly. Like you can keep your doctor and like all these other things, right?
Yeah, it just depends on the loan amount really because it's more of a percentage. So the higher the loan amount you have, it's more than $40 definitely.
Right, and if I just did easy math, 360 months on a 30-year, that's $14,400 over the life of that loan.
It adds up, let me tell you. It does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's LLPA, and I don't know if you told your viewers or your listeners that I am a mortgage broker, and the difference between that and maybe if you go to retail banking or whatever, is I can pretty much do anything and everything because I've got thousands of different investors for your situation. For instance, if you're a self-employed borrower and you don't show much income, well, we've got some programs for that as well, to where you don't have to give any banks, you don't have to give your tax returns or anything like that. Now you have to put a bit more money down,
right?
But it is doable, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. And you almost said the word bank statements. You do have those loans, the bank statement
loans? We do, yeah. Yep. So for instance, if you get a little bit better pricing, if you can give us your 12 months worth of bank statements and whatever your average deposit is for the last 12 months, that's the income we're going to use.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Common sense underwriting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got folks got real good credit.
Yep.
Make a ton of money, but it doesn't show it on your tax returns, and you can tell on their credit report they pay their bills on time. So they're a good risk.
Right, exactly. It all comes down to that risk reward, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you just joined us, we're talking with Robert Paredes, Fluxx Funding mortgage broker here. Again, local lender supporting the local economy on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That's one of our key elements that you'll hear us talking about. Talk to me about the Hometown Heroes program.
I tell you, this is probably my favorite loan program out there. So if you're a police officer, corrections officer, if you're a teacher, an educator, if you work for the hospital, a nurse, anything that you have to get a state license for medicine or anything like that, you are able to get up to 5% or $25,000 towards your down payment of your home. Now, the best part about this loan program is that it's interest free. So the 30 years or 5 years that you're there, how long you take, it doesn't have any monthly payment on it at all. Now, if you refinance or sell the home down the road, then you have to pay it back. But the idea is in 2 or 3 years or 5 years, you have enough equity to actually pay it back. But it gets you in the home now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything we can do to help the Hometown Heroes, I love that. Does paramedics fall under that too?
Oh,
EMS?
Paramedics, yep.
Fire?
Sure do. Fire, anything for the first responders, definitely. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the hot loan program right now. It's great. It's getting a lot of people in it. And here's the best part: if you're a veteran, obviously you don't have to put any money down, so that 5% can go towards your closing costs. As a matter of fact, I closed a couple of veteran loans. They actually got money back.
No way.
At closing. Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
Awesome.
I've got proof.
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So another topic that's near and dear to my heart is this rent versus owning. Renting versus owning, right? Because we saw record numbers, and it's estimated to be at 40%. That's institutional buyers by the year 2030.
Yeah.
So we've got these big corporations, conglomerates. Hedge funds, whatever you want to call it, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, these guys, and they have some evil policies, in my opinion, too, with this ESG scoring and what they're doing, and then they're taking American dollars, investing it in China. But anyways, sticking to the point I'm talking about right now, is they're coming in, Robert, they're buying up single-family homes and then turning Americans into renters.
Yeah. You make a really good point, and that's near and dear to my heart as well. I think the biggest issue right now in housing is affordable housing.
Yep.
Especially if you're in Florida and definitely Tampa. We were voted the #1 destination in the world and in the U.S. and so on. So I tell you, there's not much property out there as well, and the builders can't keep up on building as well. So it's really important that we try to figure out a way that we have affordable housing. Now, I will tell you, when the interest rates doubled about 6 to 8 months a year ago, it kind of slowed them down a little bit.
Yep.
So we did see some relief, as you know, but they're back again. So apparently, the initial rate shock of everybody, now everybody wants to buy again, and I'm seeing a ton of people who it's really tough right now to try to find anything that's affordable.
To compete with them?
Yeah,
right.
I'm seeing it again. I know we have some price reductions and so on, but it's not going to get any better, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they do, because they look at what asset class should I be investing in. Well, the Uniparty up in D.C. has kind of ruined almost every other asset class, right? I mean, you look at where are you going to put your money? I mean, for the first time in the history that we've ever, you look at the U.S. dollar.
Right.
We have the opportunity or the potential for the U.S. dollar to be overtaken as the world's currency.
Yeah, I completely agree on everything that you say. I don't want to alienate any of our viewers, or rather our listeners, but I
Right.
completely agree with what you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
I'm with you, lock and step on that as
Yeah.
well. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a challenge when you look at that. So I want to go rent versus own here.
Yeah.
So if we were to give an offer here and say, hey, look, any listeners out there that want to reach out, call in, text the hotline, we'll put together a rent versus own analysis.
Right.
That would be something that would be.
Yeah, it's fairly easy to do. Again, at the bottom line, and I would tell you this, on first-time home buyers, if they don't see it in writing as to, gosh, I'm really spending that much money on rent, I'm throwing it away every year.
Right.
What's a two-bedroom rental nowadays? It's, what, $2,000 at least? And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
nothing fancy, right?
Yeah.
That's almost $25,000 you're giving away every year on renting, thinking that you can't.
Right.
You can't buy.
That's right.
And the biggest issue right now is, especially the first-time home buyers, they don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
They think you have to have an 800 credit score and put 20% down to own a home, and it really isn't that way at all.
Exactly.
You know?
So rent versus own analysis. If you have someone in your family maybe that you know of, or maybe yourself, reach out to the hotline. We'd love to put together this rent versus own analysis for you. 727-263-3707. Just call or text that line, 727-263-3707, and you can email brimes@kw.com. And Robert, you'll be able to take and put those numbers side by side, basically.
Correct.
Here's what you're paying in rent. This is what you could own a home for. This is the tax advantages. These are all the different advantages of home ownership.
Exactly right. Yeah, and it's to your point, though. Once they see it in writing and they see that, that it makes sense for them to buy it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Buy
Yeah,
it.
and because you can get, we talked about VAs, obviously, that's 100% financing, but with some of the other programs, you're as little as 3%, 3.5% down.
That's right, and you don't have to have great credit as well. If you're above a 600 or 620, whatever, we can work with that. I mean, I can go as low as a 500 credit score if you have the money down, but for the FHA stuff is right around there as well. So it's
Yep.
very easy to get into. But I really do think most of your first-time home buyers are really scared to find out what's going on, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So
Yeah.
it starts with just having a conversation to see what we can approve you for.
Exactly. Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about the investor side of the market.
Yeah.
Hey, what a great opportunity if you're able to buy. Let's just say we'll stay in the residential realm.
Right.
Anything above 4 units goes into commercial.
Right.
But you can buy a quad, a triplex, a duplex, and live in one unit and rent the others out and be on your way to building wealth.
You're absolutely right. And here's a data point that's pretty interesting. I don't think many people know. I don't know if you guys know out there, but there's $1.7 trillion worth of equity in the United States. So you've got folks sitting there with $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of equity in your home, not doing anything for you. It's not earning any money for you. So if you've ever thought of going into the investment side of it and you don't know where to start, getting a line of credit and get some of that money out to put the down payment on investment property might be the way to go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Access your home's equity and put it to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not doing anything for you anyway, so you might
Yeah.
as well put it to work, to your point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've heard of veterans doing that. They'll get 100% financing on a 4-unit, right? Because
Right.
you can still not a single family, but a 4-unit or less.
Correct.
And then, boom, you build up equity. Now you have tenants paying pretty much your whole mortgage.
Yeah,
in that
you
scenario.
might even cash flow, depending on what that property looks like. Absolutely.
Then
Yeah.
5 years down the road, let's say you want to move up to a bigger, better house, whatever, closer to the beach. Boom, there you go.
Yep. And while we're on the topic of investment properties, the one loan program that I'm doing a ton of right now is called the DSCR, Debt Service Coverage Ratio.
Oh, yeah.
And what that is let's use $100,000 for ease of math. So let's say, for instance, you want to get a loan from me, no income verification whatsoever, right? You have to put at least 20% down.
Okay.
But if your mortgage payment to me is $1,000 a month and the market rent or that lease agreement is $1,000, which is equal to or more than what you're going to pay me on the mortgage,
Yep.
no income verification whatsoever.
That's awesome.
And you can buy as many properties as you want if you have the down payment.
What property type is that for?
Single family could be 1 to 4 unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, I also do commercial properties as well, lending. Not so much on the residential part, but I can still do them as well. So.
Okay. Tell me about the commercial side. I want to hear a little bit about that.
Well, I'm not in that space too much because I'm more residential, but from what I'm hearing for all my contacts, it's tough right now on the commercial aspect of it as well because of the risk factor,
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to do ground-up construction on commercial financing buildings. It's really tough to try to find financing right now.
Yeah, commercial buildings. Yesterday's show, we talked about it. We're setting new records in commercial building vacancies. 12.9% vacancy. That's the highest on record that we've had.
Yeah, that's tough right now. Yeah, 88% occupancy rate. That's tough on a commercial property anywhere.
Big time.
Yeah,
Big
I mean,
time.
I couldn't help but overhearing as well is that a lot of people are now virtual, so they don't need to go in home. Right?
Exactly. Yep. Virtual e-commerce, lots of different factors. Crime in the big cities. People are like, hey, I'm not going to go downtown and work down there.
Yeah, I tell you, the big cities, especially an influx in I'm sure you know, California, New Jersey, and New York, they're all coming down here. I see them every day.
Absolutely. Illinois, Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a quick break. More with Robert Paredes, mortgage broker and lending expert contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's with Fluxx Funding coming up here. More with Robert on the flip side of this break. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, all the major sites. Our YouTube channel has over 2,000 videos now on YouTube, Brandon Rhymes Realty, and we'll be right back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, helping sellers, investors, and of course buyers as well. So buying, selling, or investing, residential, commercial, or vacant land properties, we want to help you win in those transactions. Certified negotiation expert, also teach classes on win with sellers, negotiation classes as well. Hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We got a hot listing at 14 Baywood Drive in Palm Harbor. This is a Palm Harbor property. You've got access to the Gulf of Mexico community boat ramp and boat docks there as well. 14 Baywood Drive. Gorgeous home on the inside as well. The interior is beautiful. 2,913 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. Completely remodeled 3-story home. Got a wood-burning fireplace in the living room with vaulted ceilings. You got a screened-in pool in the back. Waterfront community here, 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, we got Robert Paredes in studio here, and he's a local area lender, mortgage broker. Fluxx Funding is the company. And Robert, I wanted to get a little bit of a forward look here on where you think we're going. What's going on with this market? Where do you see that going?
Yeah, as you know, in the last 6 to 8 months, a year or so, the rates have pretty much doubled, and there was obviously some kind of a rate shock for many of the buyers, and so they've kind of scaled back a little bit, but they are back already in the last 30 days, 45 days. We've seen an influx of it as well. We feel, and I follow Wall Street pretty closely, we feel that probably the interest rates are going to be down by the end of this year, even going into next year as well, because we do have an election coming up for next year as well. But the one thing that you have to remember, you don't want to wait for next year, even though you think the rates are going to be down. The reason for that is we see values, or rather prices on homes going up, because again, it's just basic supply and demand. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to move to Florida, especially in the Tampa Bay market. I mean, how can you beat this city, right? You've got water, you've got a great airport that we have, right?
Yeah,
well, we're a class, so everybody's moving down here, especially when you don't have to work. Go into an office, you work from home. This is where where you want to be.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay Rays on fire. You got the lightning.
That's it. I got to go to a game. I think I'm going next week. So
yeah, we did a giveaway too. Mike Murphy from Murphy Auto Group had a giveaway for our audience, so it'll be interesting to see who wins that. It's he's got 2 behind the plate seats that he gave away. So
I've actually seen those seats. I've seen them. I haven't seen them. I've seen them. They're pretty sweet.
I sat there before with a previous radio station sent me there when I worked down the road there, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw Dickie V there, and different folks there. But yeah. So as you mentioned, so much to do here in Tampa Bay: golfing, boating, professional sports, absence of a state income tax, and we have much better governorship than most other states too. So we do have that net migration. Florida was number 1 last year in net migration. It was something like plus 319,000 dead last was Gavin Newsom's California out there with, I think it was 347,000.
Yeah, you know, I was just talking to somebody the other day. San Francisco is one of my favorite cities back then. So now it's horrible. It's horrible what's going on over there.
Yeah, the tech guy got killed walking down the street.
I mean, who does that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I saw data also. Polk County and Pasco County are, I think, number 2 and number 5 in the nation for the most counties influx as well. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
Polk County made the news again.
Polk County, Grady Judd over there, right?
Oh, we love us some Grady, right?
Yeah. He's got some funny news clips, man. The guy, he really does. What did he say on one of them? He's like, "Yeah, you come and you shoot at us, we will shoot you back, or we'll shoot at you, or you pull a gun, we will shoot you, or something."
I've got a really good friend who lives in Lakeland, and downtown Lakeland. The last year to 2 years, it's completely different. It's grown and doing really well. So
you know what's interesting too? I picked up a nice listing in Lakeland too on Edgewater Beach Drive. Beautiful property.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful property, waterfront there. But as you're driving from Tampa, that I-4 corridor to Lakeland, I mean, look to the right and you see all of those different buildings, warehouses, businesses, furniture stores. I mean, that shows you right there. That's got to be one of the most trafficked or developed I-4 corridors in the country.
Right. I mean, I remember 4, 5, 6 years ago, pre-pandemic, Plant City was still considered rural. Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
man, you try to go to the I almost said Swamp Cabbage Festival. That's where I'm from. The Plant City Festival, Strawberry Festival.
Yeah.
I went one year and I just had to turn around and said, "I'm not fighting this traffic. It's ridiculous."
I've tried that one time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impatient when it comes to any of this.
Yeah, it was like traffic already like this far, and I knew how far I still had to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, just not worth it, man.
Yeah. And going back real quick on one of those talking points, especially when it comes to first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
The two biggest pushbacks I always get, especially when I hear from realtors as well, is down payment and credit.
Okay.
And so, there's a lot of different types of down payment assistance out there. It doesn't matter. It just depends on your situation as well. Typically, it's income driven, but we do have some loan programs that will help you with your down payment, even if you make over $100,000. So it's really, it starts with just a conversation with you as a realtor, and also as me as a lender as well.
Seller concessions, these days with negotiations, sellers are more open to that.
I'm seeing them, especially the ones that's been days on market for 30 days. To your point, the sellers are panicking, so so instead of lowering the purchase price, hey, let's do some seller concessions. Everybody wins, right?
Build it into the price.
That's right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Robert, how do you want people to connect with you?
They can reach out to me. This is my cell. It's 813-300-7218. Again, it's 813-300-7218. I work on weekends as well, so I work 8 days a week. I'm available.
There you go. Yeah, me too, man.
And they can email me as well as Robert at Fluxx. That's FLUXX funding.com.
Robert at fluxfunding.com. And hey, some great information there. Down payment, assistance, credit, hometown heroes. Rent versus own is a big one. We want people to get into home ownership. Stop throwing money away, paying your landlord's mortgage, and you'll have that ownership pride and be able to throw some cool parties when you own the home too. If you're renting, you might get kicked out for that. So.
We're invited, right?
There we go. That's right. All right, good stuff. Well, thanks again. Appreciate you coming in. Also, shout out to Nick Shriver as well, Decorating Elms. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play.